welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to a YouTuber that I watch. He makes stories, right? He pretty much just tells stories that are pretty funny or they're pretty serious sometimes. So yeah. Just saying, for the stuff I might do in this video, it's not any offense. It's not any offense. What? It's not, I'm not showing any, it's not, supposed to be in any way offensive. So, if by chance Scrubby sees this, you're cool, man. It's not that it's me. Well, I'm reacting to it. It's gamer. So yeah, we're going to be reacting to some of his, content because I've been watching him the past couple days and pretty fun. He's pretty fun. He got some pretty cool stories. He lives in Las Vegas. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool. So yeah, get started with this. First one is called Anime Kids Want to Flavor.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll never be able to fly. Yeah, that's right. I talked to my man Superman, and he said that if you press the like button, you'll actually be able to fly. Test it out. Press.
No way. Let me try. Okay, so I didn't fly. So, yeah.
The like button for yourself, and you know, if you start flying, you know who to thank. Anyways, guys, it's your boy Scrubby here, and as you can tell from the title, today I'm going to be telling you guys the story of the time I accidentally made a gang of weeaboos be my #1 enemy. All right, I don't really know exactly how the beginning of this went down. All I know is that one day I was chilling, and next thing I know, a gang of weeaboos had me cornered, trying to make me kung fu fight them like I was Po in Kung Fu Panda. All right, I don't know how many of you guys have seen me. If you want to know what I look like, you can head over to my Instagram at Scrubby and take a peek, but I am definitely not a kung fu master. But regardless, I know it's going to be a story that you guys are going to find entertaining, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So at my high school, there were just gangs of weird kids always roaming around the halls. As you guys know, I've told a lot of stories about the group of emo kids that would always try to, like, start stuff with us in class, or there was a group of kids who thought they were werewolves. But the most dangerous group of all was the weeaboos. And the reason that these kids were so dangerous is because I'm convinced these kids actually thought that they lived in an anime, all right? Like, these were the type of kids, if a teacher said their assignment was late, they'd be like, huh, you've thought that you've outsmarted me, but truly it was you that have been outsmarted. I challenge you to combat, Mr. Pemberton. We must fight now, to the death. Like, those were the type of kids that these kids would pretend they'd be. They actually thought they were living in an anime. Some of them would come to school in cosplay. I remember there was a subset of the anime kids that would wear school uniforms to school just because kids in anime would wear uniforms. Like, imagine your school not making you wear uniforms and you go, nah, people in anime wear uniforms though, and they would just match every day. It was a really weird world. And for the most part, the kids kept to themselves outside of arguing with the teachers every now and then. There were enough weeaboos where they, like, were kind of...
So just saying, I do not have a problem with people that watch anime, okay? I do not have a problem with it. I do not have a problem with it. If you like it, that's cool. If you like it, that's cool, you know? But if you take it too far, that's a little, I don't have a problem with you. If you do technically, like, if you are, I don't have a problem with you if you are a weeb. I don't have a problem with you. If you just act genuinely dumb, though, then, you know, I kind of, like, I don't hate you, but I sort of, like, I'll look at you in a weird way, just like, you know, I'm not gonna make fun of you or anything like that, because I'm not that kind of person. But, I would definitely look at you as a weird person. So yeah, yeah. If you want to speak Japanese and you want to literally find it out, you would literally want to find it out because it seems cool. And you watch anime and it seemed pretty cool if you learned it. That's cool. that's cool. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I have some friends that are weebs, but I generally don't have a problem with them at all. We're good old pals, good old buddy pals. We're cool. So yeah, let's continue.
Contained, and you didn't have to deal with the cringe at any given moment. But one of my favorite skills, one of the things that I'm best at is you know, talking crap. I'm not gonna lie, I've got a big mouth.
I'm sorry if I lean a lot, because I'm sorry if I like kind of lean like this, and you can like see half my face, or I'm like leaning like this or something, which is my lazy eye. Oh my gosh. So sorry if that happens, because I genuinely have to have the volume low, or else you guys are not gonna be able to hear me at all. No joke. You guys won't be able to hear me at all. So yeah. Also, yeah. I was gonna say something, but you guys probably generally do not hear.
I tend to get myself in trouble with it. And regardless, weeaboos aren't exactly scarily
what game is this? I need to know.
Okay? Yes, they might try to threaten to fight a teacher over a homework assignment, but for the
Scrubs, if you somehow see this, or if anybody knows what game this is, what game is this? I need to know. Like, this seems like a pretty cool game.
Most part, they're not actually going to do anything because they're all 5'4" white kids that grew up in the suburbs and aren't actually intimidating at all. Like, if these kids started whipping out katanas, you know the scene from Indiana Jones where the guy's like swinging around his sword in Indiana Jones ends it in 1 second? Like, I feel like that's what these kids would be like, okay? They get in a karate stance and be like, haha, you thought you had outsmarted me, but today, and then you'd punch them in the face and they just start crying and be like, I was not prepared for combat of this level, ah, like that's the type of kids that these people are. But regardless, you know, most of these kids were pretty wimpy, and so everybody would make jokes every now and then. And I had a class with an unusually large weeaboo population. I had a class, I was in art, which for some reason attracted weeaboos. I don't know what it is about art, but basically every other kid in the class, I swear, had Naruto headbands tattooed on their forehead and thought it was a good idea, all right? And trust me, Naruto can be pretty cool, but you shouldn't get the headband tattooed on your forehead. What if it's cold? Then you're just sweating into a headband for no...
By the way, I'll link Scrubby and Scrubs, I think is this one is. But I'll link both of his channels in the description, because I don't want to like watch one of his videos and then not give him credit, and then like I don't want to watch one of his videos and then not give credit, you know, because that'd be kind of, you know, just kind of like a bad move. That'd be pretty mean. So yeah, pretty messed up if I didn't. So yeah, I'm gonna link his 2 channels in the description. Yeah.
No reason. But regardless, in my art class, there was an unusually large amount of weeaboos. And I had a class, a friend in my class who, you know, me and him would talk and goof off and have ourselves a good time. And one day, I was sitting in art class, and I started making jokes about weeaboos. I started doing the anime voice like, haha, you thought you've outsmarted me, but I go to a school in the suburbs. Ahaha, I have learned the way of the Kung Fu Master. Like, I was just kind of making fun of them doing the anime announcement voice, just goofing off, and I didn't think anyone was going to take offense, okay? Because one thing that I think is important, you have to be able to get made fun of, all right? Like, if someone's making fun of me, oh, haha, Scrubby's an idiot because he makes story times every day, you got to just take it on the chin. People aren't always going to like you, and that's okay. And it wasn't like I was saying that weeaboos need to, you know, be banned from the school or anything. I was just making fun of the fact that they think that they live
Alright, I thought I heard something, I was like...
in an anime. And I thought I was being relatively quiet. I thought my friend was really the only one that could hear me, but he started laughing really loud, which of course got the attention of all the other weeaboos in class. And because I was making fun of them doing the anime announcement voice, I guess they had a team meeting after school, okay? Like, all the weeaboos got together and decided that this season on their anime, they were gonna have to fight the evil villain Ryan from their art class, who was making fun of their anime lifestyle. Like, I don't really know what the plan was, but the next day I walk into school and I go to put my backpack in my locker, and there's a note on my locker written in, like, not Japanese, but a very flowy English. Like, it looked like somebody was trying to do the Japanese letters but make it so that it could still be read in English, and it basically says, we know that you are our enemy, or something, like some really over dramatic thing. And listen, for any weeaboos watching this, I wasn't your enemy. I really, 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 really don't care. Like, if you watch anime, that's cool. You guys are a little cringy sometimes. You know, wearing school uniforms to match with your favorite anime is a little weird. I'm sorry. Like, if that's offensive, then hey, I guess I'm really offensive. But regardless, apparently I am their enemy, okay? They leave this passive-aggressive note on my locker. And so I grab it, and I'm kind of like, huh, that's weird. I don't even know which person I'm an enemy of at this point, okay? Because being realistic, someone leaves a note on your locker, I am the enemy. Regardless of if in retrospect it looks like fancy Japanese, I wasn't exactly looking around like, who is my enemy? I thought it was like one of my friends messing with me. So, whatever, I go about my day, I don't respond to the note, I just crumple it up and like throw it in the trash can. I don't think anything of it, right? And by the time lunch comes around, I've completely forgotten that there was a note on my locker in the first place. Sorry, all you anime kids out there, but I wasn't exactly sitting there like shaking in my seat. Who am I made angry? Who is my enemy? Who's going to try to do my Shippuden? I don't know. All I know is that I made someone angry. Someone with a power level above 3,000. Like, I was not very worried about it, all right? Not for one moment during the day was I sweating at all. But regardless, I'm sitting there at lunch, just minding my own business, munching on some solid pizza, all right? I don't know what it is about school cafeteria pizza, but it was actually good. And if that makes you guys hate me, I totally understand, because I know that's a very
Oh, scrubs. That crap. School pizza, you gotta admit. I know there's probably people out there that will probably disagree with me. But I'm sure there's people out there that will agree with me. School pizza is busted. That stuff is freaking amazing. I'm not even gonna lie.
Popular opinion, but it is my opinion, and I can't lie to you guys. So I'm sitting there munching on my pizza, minding my own business, really getting carried away in the way the cheese accents the pizza sauce, right? And then I feel this like presence behind me. I don't know if you guys have ever like had someone just stare you down for an extended period of time, but if you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can just like feel something staring at you. So I'm kind of like, wow, that's weird. And I look over, and about 4 tables away is where all the weeaboos sat. They had about 2 tables. And I'm not even kidding you. Every beady-eyed anime addict was just sitting there staring at me. And I'm like, wow, this is a little bit bizarre. This is not a normal day. And I didn't really think they were staring at me, so I started looking around. And every time I'm like trying to figure out what they're staring at, I'm like, they might be staring at me. So after staring at me for a little bit, I just kind of started like gesturing at them. Like, I'm not going to lie, I may have thrown up a middle finger or two, but I was just trying to get them to stop staring. Have you guys ever tried to eat with somebody staring at you? It's like they're looking into your soul, all right? I don't want anyone watching me munch on anything, because munching is a very private part of my life. I munch when I'm in the shower. I munch when I'm, going to bed. I just like to eat, okay? I do. I like to eat. And if you're going to stare at me while I eat, I'm not a fan of that, all right? This is private. This is personal time. That's like looking at somebody in the shower. Eating is a personal thing. It's not really, it's not that deep, but like people staring at you is just weird, especially when you don't know them and it's a bunch of anime kids that are looking at you like you actually just burned all of Japan to the ground. So they continue staring at me and I keep gesturing at them, and finally the leader weeaboo, who I can only describe as a chubby version of Naruto. Like if Naruto weighed a solid 600 pounds and wore a headband, that would be pretty accurate compared to what this guy looks like. Gets up and starts walking over to me, and I'm not even kidding you, is wearing a real Naruto headband in school. Like, it was like, what should I wear to high school today? How about a Naruto headband? Which, whatever. If you like Naruto, I ain't pressed. But it's a little weird to be like wearing that in school. So 600-pound Naruto, who I will now refer to from this point forward as obese anime, walks up to me and just like walks up behind my chair and says, so I've heard that you have a problem with us. And I'm like, dog, what are you talking about? And he says, well, yesterday in art class you were making fun of anime. Like, do you think it's funny to make fun of things that people like? And, at this point, I probably should have just been like, no, yeah, I'm sorry. But I did the opposite because I have a problem with keeping my mouth shut. And I go, well, I mean, if you guys act cringy and are being cringy, then yeah, I think it's pretty okay to like make fun of it. If you like it, but you're being cringy, then, sometimes you got to get made.
That's the thing you don't say. You don't say, what you're doing is cringy. Yeah. The other thing you said, what was he gonna say before? Like, no, I don't have a problem with you, my bad, I'm sorry. I think that might have been a better option.
Fun of a little bit, which I guess really set this guy off, because the next thing out of his mouth might have been the cringiest culmination of words that I've ever heard. He looks at me and goes, I want you to understand that anime isn't just something that I like, okay? Anime is a lifestyle. I understand that you have an idea of Western culture in which cartoons are silly and for children, but anime is a way of life. And I want to make something very clear to people watching this video. If you like anime, good for you, bro. I really could not care less, all right? But if you start trying to claim that it's a way of life and it's not just like a show, you're delusional, all right? If somebody gets arrested by the cops for like selling things, all right, and they go, oh, well, I got it from Breaking Bad, and it's a way of life, so obviously it's not that big of a deal. Like, you're just dumb, all right? I'm not saying anime's not cool. You can like anime, but you cannot make fun of it, for it is a way of life. Ahaha, I have spent many years mastering the blade. Like, you're just cringy, bro. So I can't take it seriously, and I start laughing, which sets off Obese Anime, and he walks away from my table very heftily, very angrily, just stomps his way back to the anime table, grabs like 2 or 3 more people, which aren't wearing Naruto headbands, sadly. I wish I could say that I got squared up upon by a group of people wearing Naruto headbands, only because I feel like it would increase my street creds. I might be actually able to go to downtown LA and join a gang based solely on the fact that I stared down a group of anime kids as they slowly approached me with Naruto headbands. But sadly, I can't. That's not what happened. And while that is depressing, what happens next is not as depressing because it's pretty comical. So he goes back and gets his boys, and I swear the Naruto gang walks over in slow motion and like tries to press me, and they go, oh, so you think you can just make fun of anime? And I'm like, yeah. And then the entire group starts telling me about how anime is a lifestyle. I've already told you guys, anime is not a lifestyle, all right? You know what's a lifestyle? Like, I don't know, living on the beach. Anime is not a lifestyle, but these kids are swearing up and down that I've disrespected their culture. None of you are Japanese, okay? I don't know what I'm disrespecting. I know that Clevin over here on the left was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't think I said the Bengals were trash, bro, so I don't know how I'm really roasting your culture. But regardless, they're all trying to press me, saying that I was just bullying anime or whatever because I was making fun of it. And yeah, there are aspects to anime that are pretty easy to make fun of. That's not my fault, though. Like, don't sue me because it's easy to make fun of anime. So they start trying to press me. And they're like, oh, well, do you want to fight about it? And I'm like, well, not really. I'm just trying to eat some pizza, bro. Come on. Like, I get it. You guys smell like body odor. You know, you have no girlfriends. Like, I understand why you would want to fight. You have nothing to lose. I've got stuff to lose, though, okay? Like, I'm not trying to throw down because things are negative if I get in trouble, not so much for you guys. They're like, well, if you're going to disrespect us, then you have to get in a combat stance. And then 3 of these weeaboo nerds get down into like a karate stance, okay? Like a combat stance. Except the only problem is it's not like they've ever actually taken any karate lessons and have learned how to fight. I would say their combat stance looked a little bit like, you ever seen a baby that's pooped itself and its diaper's full and it's like waddling around? It looked like a baby with a crappy diaper waddling around. That's what their combat stance looked like. And I can't take it seriously because obviously when a kid that's your age acts like he crapped himself and is like trying to press you, it's comical. It's funny. There's nothing I can do about the fact that it's a little bit entertaining. So I start laughing, which makes one of them, there was like 3 main ones, okay? There was the guy, 600-pound obese anime man that had pressed me in the first place, and he brought his 2 friends back. And his other friend does like a punch comp.
King C. Gillette, your beard is our trade. These are your tools.
Why did I get an advertisement about?
Except the way he does it, he like loses his balance and almost falls over. So I'm obviously shaking in my boots, very intimidated by the absolute presence of these units pressing me for making fun of anime. Like, these guys are obviously so much cooler than I will ever be in my entire life. Their swag is on 1 million and my swag is on like 7, all right? And that's not good. I need more swag to compete with these guys. So I laugh after his little display of kung fu-ery, and at this point it is starting to get a little bit of a crowd because it's not every day you see Derek the anime nerd trying to press someone with karate moves. So the lunchroom is kind of gathering around us because they also think there's about to be a fight. So they're still doing their karate display, and I'm like, dog, I'm not going to fight you in the lunchroom. I'm not getting suspended fighting these anime kids. So as they keep pressing me in their karate stance, the teachers come over, the deans come over, and they're like, you guys have to break it up. I can't believe you were about to fight. And the anime kids are like, you were lucky I respect authority. It is one of the mainstays of kung fu. And I'm like, dog, the dean just told us not to fight. Don't pretend that this is a Shaolin monk, Master Splinter out here from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles telling you not to square up, all right? If you wanted to fight, you could fight. The dean isn't really that much in charge of you. But whatever, anime kids. So they give me this look and they say, we'll handle this later. And I'm like, yeah, what later, bro? I don't know what later you're going to be talking about. Come to find out, there is going to be a later, but this video is already nearing 15 minutes, so I guess I'm going to do a part 2. We did end up fighting in the park, actually, so that's what the next part of this story is going to be, is that saga, because it's probably going to take another 20 minutes to get through that other half of the story, so yeah, hopefully you guys are going to look forward to that one. I'll probably be uploading it, what day is it? Let me check here. It's Wednesday. I'll probably upload that Friday, so be sure to come back Friday where you'll see part 2 of this story. It's definitely worth.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. And if you are, you should press the like button, or otherwise, no joke, no scam, you'll never be able to wash your toes again. Yeah, that's right. If you don't press the like button, then the foot genie is going to come and make it so your toes will get incredibly stinky, and you don't want that. Anyways, guys, as you can tell from the title of today's video, we're going to be continuing the story that
I didn't watch the entire thing. I watched literally the intro. I probably got through like 2 minutes of the video. No joke. And I literally got to the point where he said there was a part 1, and I said, okay. So yeah. I literally got to the point when he said there was a part 1 and that there was a link to the part 1 video in the description. And yeah. So yeah, yeah, I've already liked the video.
I was telling last time, alright? For those of you guys who didn't see the first part, a link will be in the description. But basically, I made some emo kids very upset, and they decided to press me in the lunchroom, but the fight was broken up, thankfully, by a brave stranger who came in and saved my life. But that wasn't the end, because apparently these emo kids were so mad, they were like, then we'll take the combat outside of the school. And this part 2 is going to be a little long and complicated, so buckle your seatbelt, and without further ado, let's get into it. So a little bit of a recap. Basically, one day in my art class, which is filled with weeaboos, I made a joke about how the anime community is a little cringe, and those kids got super mad and tried to fight me in the lunchroom. And I thought that was going to be the end of it, okay? After the lunchroom incident, I was like, dang, these kids are going to realize that maybe trying to fight me for no reason is a really bad idea, and they're not going to mess with me anymore. And they didn't mess with me at school, okay? The anime incident happened on a Wednesday, and for the rest of the week until Friday, there was no sweat. There was really nothing going on. There was nothing that was making me think that these anime kids were about to start jumping out of the trees like Japanese surprise attacks and trying to drop bombs on me, okay? Because surprisingly, when someone leaves you alone for 2 days, you're not like, yes, they are plotting my eventual destruction. You're like, dang, these kids are probably going to try to leave me alone. And I wish that's what happened, but as you can tell, it's about to get complicated. And before I had a car and could drive, I had to walk to school. I lived relatively close to my school, so after school I would have to walk past the buses. It was probably a 5-minute walk to get from my last class back across the street into my neighborhood so I could...
Same. Right now.
Get home. And for the most part, you know, I really didn't think that anyone was ever gonna like follow me home or anything, because that would be weird. It's not every day you're like, that group of anime kids wearing Naruto headbands looks creepily following me. Maybe they're gonna follow me to my house and then challenge me to combat in the driveway. That's just not something you really expect to happen. So whenever I would walk home, I wasn't very conscious of like who was behind me or who was following me, because it's just not something I think about on a daily basis, is who's going to try to follow me home. Call me crazy, it just never really crossed my mind. Plus, I would look really paranoid if that did cross that line. Like, imagine if I started this story. So, basically, I think people are perennially trying to stalk me, and so I'm always looking over my shoulder because I'm super paranoid. In fact, whenever I see a cop car, I drive full speed and crash into it just to make sure that they're not following me anymore. So on Friday, I start walking home, and I get across the street. I'm about halfway back to my house, and I turn around, and you know that scene in The Lion King where, like, it's the herd of wildebeest, you know, charging, and he's like, Dad, like, that's how I feel, because when I look back, I'm not even kidding you, it looks like I'm at a Comic-Con in a small Midwestern town, because it is just a bunch of chubby anime kids slowly marching towards me with the beat of a drum. I'm pretty sure I saw one of them Naruto running to keep the pack together, alright? Like, I turn around and I see this, and call me crazy here, it's not every day that there's an anime convention in the middle of my suburban neighborhood, okay? Like, this is not a really common occurrence where anime kids are just booing in my neighborhood like, yo, guys, you trying to hang out and chill? Like, haha, let's all hang out and have a good time on the middle of the street near where Ryan lives. Like, that just doesn't happen. So, I get a little freaked out because I did have the altercation with them in the lunchroom a little bit earlier, but I'm kind of like, maybe they're going to someone else's house. Maybe one of the anime kids lives near me. It's not that big of a deal. So I start taking another path home. I start to do the zigzags because I saw one time on a podcast that if you take 4 right turns and people are still following you, then you know they're following you because you went in a circle. So I do the strategy and I basically go in a big loop around my neighborhood and then like back towards my house, and they're still following me. So at this point, I am confirming that I have a weeaboo pack on my tail, which is guaranteed to basically follow me until I either do one of two things: stop walking and they can slowly eat me alive like a bunch of zombies, or, and hear me out here, I disappear, and I have my Harry Potter invisibility cloak ready at all times. That's a joke. I can't go invisible. Surprisingly, I wish I could. That would be super sick, but if you subscribe, you can turn invisible. I've tried it. So during all this, when I'm realizing that these kids are following me and I'm doing this giant loop, I started texting some of my friends, and I'm like, hey, can you guys meet me at my house? I have a group of weeaboos that are following me. And thankfully, I do have a group of good friends, because when I'm starting to go down my street and I can see my house, I see Grant and our other friend's car parked outside, and there's about 6 kids just standing there in my driveway because I warned them that I have a pack of wild weeaboos that are hunting me down. And I'm not even kidding you. These weeaboos were like a wolf pack, okay? Like, they were howling. At one point, I'm pretty sure I saw one of them blink, but it was the lizard eyes, like Mark Zuckerberg. Like, the lizard people are real and they are weeaboos, everyone. Be very careful. So I start walking towards my house and I realize that I have about 8 friends standing in the driveway, right? Like around 8, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range. I don't remember exactly how big my team was. And there's about 14 weeaboos, so we're still outnumbered, all right? And you know it's not going to be a good situation if 8 of your best friends show up and you're still outnumbered 2 to 1. Like, this just doesn't seem like good odds. I start walking towards my house, and as I get closer to my house and I cross the street and go into my driveway, the weeaboos suddenly pick up speed. And I don't know if they were trying to be comical, if they were trying to catch me off guard, and they're like, we're going to challenge him to combat but make him giggle first. But I'm not even kidding you. Have you ever seen 15 teenagers in Naruto headbands Naruto running down the street towards your house? Because I have. I don't know what they thought was like cool about that. It wasn't very intimidating. At no point was I like, wow, you see the way they Naruto run, Grant? That's impressive. I don't know if we should fight them. Like, I don't know what they were going for, but they were Naruto running down the street towards me when I step into my driveway. And they pull up, and the chubby kid from the lunchroom that brought the 2 people over when they like dropped in the karate stance, like, steps forward, and all the Naruto kids are like in a little group, you know, talking, whispering, laughing, and he steps forward and he goes, so, you ready to actually throw down now? And I'm like, dog, listen, we almost fought on Wednesday, bro. It's Friday. That means that you went home for 3 days. And while you were home for those 3 days, instead of doing your homework, instead of playing Xbox, instead of watching anime, you went, damn, I really hate that Ryan kid, and thought about getting your masterful army of weeaboo kids to come to my house. And also, how did you even know that I walked home? Like, how did you do that, right? And I asked him, how did you know? And he says, we've been watching you for 2 days, which is very creepy. No one wants to hear that a super...
What the... Bro, what? No. Heck no. I'd be like... Nah, get the freak away from me. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, nah, get the freak away from me. Get the freak away from me. That's what I would say. I'd say, get the freak away from me, go home. I don't want to have any problems. That's generally what I do. I don't want to start a fight because...
wrestler who's not actually from Japan, addicted to anime, has been watching them for 2 days. I felt violated. I felt as if though my privacy, everything that I had ever built in my life, was now under attack because this man had been watching me for a very long period of time. Long enough to know that I walk home, and long enough to organize 14 kids to follow me home, all right? Do you understand how much coordination that takes? I can't even get people to text me back in my group projects when I was in high school. And this man managed to build half an army to come square up with me in the middle of my driveway. So there we are in the driveway, trying to be some savages, and then Grant, being the good friend he is, goes, well, if you guys really want to throw down, you're going to have to throw down with all of us. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm actually living in an anime, okay? I don't know if you've ever heard a group of friends be like, haha, if you mess with one of us, then you mess with all of us, ha, but I'm pretty sure that's what Grant was doing. We were actually in a live episode of Naruto. And my parents weren't going to be home for like another hour or 2. So I was like, well, I mean, if we are going to throw down, now's the time to do it. And I'm not even kidding you. When the anime kids got the chance to throw down, I don't think I've ever seen them like be more excited in their entire life. They were like, finally, all these rec center karate classes I've been taking since I was 8 are going to come in handy. All the time I spent watching Naruto for combat is going to come in handy. And I'm not even kidding you, bro. The chubby kid with the Naruto headband with the glasses on looks down, looks up, pushes up his glasses and says, gladly. Like, it was the most anime thing I've ever seen, alright? Don't get me wrong, anime can be super dope, especially in that moment. Because as cringy as it was also freaking cool, okay? Like, I'm not even gonna lie, being in a movie fight scene has always been a goal of mine in life. Like, that's something I've always wanted to do. Don't ask me why, I'm a little bit weird, but just something about like dun 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 gladly, and pushing up the glasses and then just going to fist combat to try to murder each other. Turn up, bro. Like, if you're medicated, if you're not medicated, shout out mental illness, you know what I mean? Jesus is the one. Also, sorry if my voice is sounding a little bit weird. I am a little sick. It's no reason. Also, comment down below if you know what song I just sang, because I don't know, it's a good song and I hope people know what it is. But regardless, when he says, "Cha-cha, gladly," they all take a step forward and get in, like, their weird, like, ninja combat stance. And the one thing you have to understand is, while me and Grant may not be fighters, we have a group of friends that is very known for mischief. I tend to get into the type of mischief where I'm pranking people and, you know, I might steal a candy bar or two, but nothing too crazy. That was the type of mischief that I was into. And, you know, Grant wasn't really into mischief. He was a good kid, didn't get in trouble a lot. But we had friends that, you know, have been arrested and just genuinely like to throw down. You know what I mean? And when this starts going down, basically it's 14 anime kids versus 8 people fighting. I don't remember exactly how it started. I don't know who swung first or what. But the next thing I know, there was a flurry of combat going on. You know that, like, in Super Smash Bros, when you turn on all the bots at once and there's like 9 people fighting each other in one Super Smash Bros stage? I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I'm not a big fighter. I'm not a giant guy. I'm fighting some weeaboos. Weeaboos are fighting other people. Grant's fighting a weeaboo. I look back. Someone has picked up a skateboard and is swinging in circles like he's going to take off like a helicopter. It's a wild situation. There's a fight going on. I don't remember much of the fight, much details. All I know is that the fight's probably going for a minute or two, and then my neighbor, who is an old man, probably 78 years old, comes out and just starts yelling at us from across the street and goes, "Break it up, break it up, break it up." But if you've ever tried to break up a fight before, especially with that many people, it's not too easy. A 78-year-old man yelling, "Back in Nam, we used to fight with each other like this," isn't gonna, like, do anything. No one's actually listening to it. So this poor old man who's trying to break up all these kids fighting is not doing a very good job. Not for lack of trying. He was yelling his little heart out. I'm pretty sure at one point his heart grew vocal cords to try to yell a little bit louder. And he goes back inside for a couple seconds. And I remember distinctly watching him go inside and then coming around the side yard with a hose, okay? And this old man, for his career for a long time, was a firefighter, so this man knew how to wield a hose. It wasn't a fire hose, don't get me wrong. Homeboy didn't, like, smack the side of a fire hydrant off and start blasting us like we were, like, protesting Brown versus the Board of Education, okay? Like, that was not what happened. It was not one of those situations. But he gets his hose and just starts spraying the crowd of people with the hose to try to break it up. And it almost seemed like out of a music video, okay? It looked like something you would see in an early 2000s rap video. Just a bunch of anime kids and normal kids fighting each other with a hose spraying in the air, getting everyone wet. It was basically the most ghetto water park that I've ever been to. But thankfully, I guess the water was enough to slap sense into all of us, and we all realized how absolutely ridiculous what we were doing was. Like, these kids literally followed me home and started a gang fight in the middle of the street because I made fun of anime. Like, if that's not next level cringe, I don't know what is. And I get it, you know, people making fun of things you like isn't always sick. Like, no one likes when their stuff gets made fun of. But if somebody's making fun of my YouTube channel, I don't follow them home, okay? Like, that's not what I'm about. If I'm up in the club and someone's like, "Yo, I hate your Scrubby videos, man. They're terrible," I'm not like, "That's it. We're throwing hands outside, man. Prepare yourself for the ultimate form of combat, death." Like, no, that's not what I'm going for. But that's what they did. So the hose calms us down, and very slowly but surely the fighting dwindles down. And then the anime kids, like, all group up probably 10, 15 feet away from our group. And what's weird is, in all that fighting, nobody got severely messed up. Like, no one had black eyes, nobody's nose was bleeding, which is really weird because when that many people are, like, throwing hands, you expect something to go down, all right? It's not normally that calm. That's not normally the situation at hand. And the anime kids, looking at our group of people, start, like, staring at us and whispering to each other, and me and all my friends are like, "What is going on? This is the weirdest situation I've ever been a part of." To this day, I have never been in a weirder, dangerous situation. Like, it's almost like staring down a pack of hungry hyenas from The Lion King. I don't know why I'm making so many Lion King references today, but I am, and I'm kind of feeling it, you know? So my group is kind of like, "Hey, Hakuna Matata, we shouldn't have done this, whatever. We're just going to keep booing. There's another Lion King reference for all you savages." And we just like kind of look at them and are waiting for them to leave, because this is my house. I don't know if they were trying to stare us down to see who would leave first, but I'm not moving because these weeaboo kids are outside. Like, first of all, my parents would be very confused when I went, Mom, we have to buy a new house because I fought a bunch of anime kids outside. Like, that's not what my mom would be down for. She'd probably ground me, at which point I'd be even closer to the house that the weeaboo kids are now taking over, and no one wins in that scenario. So after a minute or two about just staring at us with this intensity of like, I am the next Hokage, and I have discovered the secret to the formula of life, their leader, chubby glasses Naruto headband guy, walks up to us and says, my clan respects your combat, and we prefer to have no further altercation, and bows, like puts his hands together and bows. Keep in mind, this dude's name is Clarence, and he is a chubby white kid. So if you've ever been bowed to by a Clarence like that, it's a weird feeling. I know why kings like it now, though. If I was a king, I'd make everyone bow. I'd make everyone walk around bowing. Everyone would look at their feet and not know where they're going and be walking into stuff. It'd be chaos, but being bowed to feels pretty dope. And so I didn't know. So I bowed back because I don't know what to do. He stayed bowed for a weirdly long time. Like for 30 seconds was just bowed. And I was like, okay. So I bowed back and he goes, you're very respectful in combat. And then goes back to his group and they walked away. They didn't say any words. I don't know where they were going. I don't know if they knew how to get out of my neighborhood because they had followed me home. But they walked away. And I don't know how they explained to their parents what they were doing. They're like, oh yeah, I'm part of an after-school program where we challenge people who disrespected us to combat. But I guess, to each their own. I guess people are a little wild and a little zany out there. Regardless, moral of the story is if you make fun of anime kids, they'll follow you home from high school and try to destroy you in combat. Seriously though, guys, what's weird is I would see them around school after this, obviously, because we went to the same school. And it's not like every day when you're at the same school, like you don't see each other. It's not like after this situation we were never going to see them again. And whenever they would see us or my group of friends that were there, they would stop in the hallway and bow. And they wouldn't stop bowing until you bowed back, which is a really weird social custom. Like, hey, remember that time I stalked you back to your house and then I challenged you to combat and your neighbor had to spray us with a hose to stop? Yeah, we should bow to each other now to like show a sign of respect. And how do I respect someone that stalked me home? But regardless, I would bow back just to keep the hallway moving, because the last thing I want is that kid as a statue for like 8 years, The graduating class of 2018 has been gone for 17 years, but the anime kid is still there. It's 2045. There's flying cars in the hallway at one...
I almost stopped my recording. So, this man has a butterfly knife. Hold up. Oh my gosh, Gavin, no one cares!